G'day guys and gals, that's right cunts, our female viewership has officially climbed back over 1%, which means I can now use the plural again. You may be thinking, but MajorKill, most of those 1% females are actually chicks with dicks, so they don't really count. Well Timmy, be that as it may, even if 99% of those chicks have dicks, then there's at least more than one girl that doesn't, so I can take the plural. Bitch. Because you fuckheads have been asking for it for over a year now, today I'm explaining the entire lore and history of the Greenskins, while also breaking down the different subtypes of them as well. Before we get into it however, I'd like to thank Even Gaming for sponsoring this video, and sending me an absolute sexy ass new big gaming mousepad. My old one started to look a bit like a cum rag, so this was really appreciated. Make sure you guys check them out and get your own if you need one. They actually sent me 2 mousepads, so I'm giving the second one away to one lucky cunt. I'll let you guys know how you can win that mousepad at the end of the video. Something I have to clear up first before the real lore kicks in is that there's no such thing as a greenskin penis. That's right, those big old Shrek looking motherfucker incapable of sex or sexual reproduction, which is actually a very good thing in Warhammer, as in Warhammer Fantasy it would be so much darker if you had these massive thick cocked rape machines ripping across the world, plunging their phalluses into every available orifice. Yeah, and let's just say greenskins with dicks wouldn't really care much for the age of consent either, so pretty fucking dark. Before we get into the juicy lore shit, I just want to take one moment to thank a few people who've created fan art for this channel over the last year or so. This is the latest pieces I get sent, and yeah, today just must be my lucky day because these are my favourite. They got my ass just right, and my eyes look great in this drawing, so thank you very much to the artists. Uncensored versions of my hentai are now available on Patreon apparently, so send $1 and you get all my uncensored fan art. Yes. Let's get into it. The origins of the Greenskins are a bit sketchy, however it is mostly just agreed that they were accidentally brought to the world of Warhammer Fantasy when the old ones arrived on the planet. This is due to the Greenskins having a pretty fucking cooked way of reproducing, in that they grow from fungus spores. Hence, the old ones likely had a few spores hidden on their ship, which accidentally got dumped onto the planet. Whoops. From there, the Greenskin race, which is broken up between big old cunts called orcs and then little skinny Jew cunts called goblins, grew very quickly and became a genuine cancer upon the world. They first became known to the world properly by raping the Dwarven Empire. When some fat as fuck earthquake hit the Dwarven holds, the dwarves were seriously vulnerable from it, so when an endless tide of greenskins, bit of a racial slur but okay, invaded the Dwarven Empire, they quickly took out the vast majority of the holds and drove the dwarves to the brink of extinction, which is pretty shit for the dwarves if I say so myself. During these wars, the Greenskins did battle with the sneaky Jew Skaven as well. However, this is just an exercise in redundancy, as we basically ended up with 2 Endless Tides armies, just using each other as meat grinders. They usually tend to avoid each other when they can because it's just so pointless fighting each other. Also, they're probably racist towards each other, so that helps keeping them apart. Now, you're probably thinking, how has an unending tide of dickless murder monsters who are from space, who are strong as fuck, not conquer the entire planet? And that's because they love civil wars more than America does, and that's saying a lot. The Greenskins literally cannot unite a big enough army, as their impatience and thirst for battle usually ends with them fucking each other up, which just isn't very productive. In saying this however, on the rare occasion where the Greenskins can get their non-existent dicks out of each other and unite under a single lord or war boss, they cause some fucking problems. An example of this is when the orcs, after having raped most of the dwarven kingdoms, came into the realms of men and began raping them as well. Surprisingly, the orc weapons and armor were more technologically advanced than the humans at the time, so it was a bit of a romper stomper. Even with the support of the dwarves, the humans were still being fisted in most of their battles. This was until their version of Thor, aka the Lost Primarch, aka the Skullfucker, aka the most overpowered man ever, aka Sigma, appeared out of nowhere and basically proceeded to solo fuck the entire Greenskin population to death, especially when he was given Galmaraz for saving some important stunties. It was actually pretty epic, like the entire human race basically united with the entire dwarven race to form this mega army to basically fight this massive greenskin super army in the first battle of the Blackfire Pass. Now, before you're like, but MajorKill, there were humans in Cathay and Nippon. Well, Timmy, Nippon and Cathay may as well not exist because of how useless they are to the plot, and even if we do agree to them existing, we already know that so there you go. So yeah, massive fuck off battle happens and Sigma bends over the orc commander and anal raped him to death, and that's that. So many greenskins died in that battle that it took them over 1,000 years before they could recoup their numbers to such a level. kinda like the Jews to be honest. From here the Greenskins kinda became a secondary threat. They weren't able to muster big enough armies to launch full-scale invasions anymore, and they also hit technological stagnation. So while the armies of the humans and dwarves developed gunpowder, cannons, guns, steam tanks, and also bred beasts of war, the Greenskins still fucked around with their shitty axes and whatnot. Although they did domesticate some spiders, which is pretty cool. The Greenskins' luck did change however, when the Chaos Dwarfs thought it would be smart to genetically modify some of their Greenskin slaves to turn them into bigger, more intelligent warmongers. This unsurprisingly turned out to be a really shit idea by the Chaos Dwarfs, as these new Black Orcs, still going with those racial terms, led a massive rebellion which almost destroyed the entire Chaos Dwarf Empire. The rebellion was crushed, however a small number of Black Orcs were able to migrate out of the Darklands and into the Old World. Grimgor was one of those orcs. Now, if Grimgor had a dick, it would be constantly erect. Like this guy was the chief Nigger Orc commander. His obsession with battle took him all across the world, as he beat a Dwarven hold into submission, crushed 3 Kislevite armies, conquered innumerable Greenskin tribes, and invaded the Skaven stronghold Hellpit just for fun. Grimgor only felt his first taste of defeat when he encountered Crom the Conqueror, and despite a massive battle, Grimgor ended up defeated. The armies of Crom allowed Grimgor to leave alive, however, due to how much they respected him, because he completely fucked them up pretty hard, and he also fought Crom to a standstill. Pissed off from his defeat, Grimgor did what any reasonable Black Orc would do. He conquered every single orc on the planet and genocided the Chaos Dwarfs. We are in the end times territory now guys, so it's about to get a bit weird. After fisting some naughty midgets, Grimgor wondered who to fight next. However, that was quickly answered for him as he was teleported to Middenheim to take part in the final battle of the end times. He saw Malekith's army and was like, hey, these look like good enemies to go fuck up, let's get him. To which Malekith replied, please don't fuck us up. You are clearly the fucking alpha in this situation. However, Archaon the Never Chosen over there thinks he's top shit, so you should go fuck him up. Which was enough to convince Grimgor and his army to join up with the forces of good, which is some damn impressive diplomacy employed by Malekith there. 10 out of 10, fucking would not read again. Grimgor engages not only Archaon, but also his elite bodyguard in battle and whoops all of their asses. He headbutts Archaon to the ground and breaks his helmet. However, Archaon is a bit of a bitch, so instead of accepting defeat, he cheats and uses the power of a greater demon to cut off Grimgor's head, ending Grimgor's life. Which is kinda bullshit, because in the now non-canon Storm of Chaos, Grimgor is the one who knocks Archaon on his ass and defeats him, and claims the title of the best. So, for them to flip that on its head in the end times and end with our big boy's death is a bit of a cop-out. So that covers their basic history and their memes they've been employing. Now let's look at some different types of greenskins ranked by strength. Starting with the shittest cunts of the entire greenskin race, we have the Snotlings. Snotlings are literally what you get when you abort a late-term fetus, like they are beyond useless. Literally autistic goblins, the only thing they're used for or good for are playthings or as an emergency food source for other greenskins. Moving up the ranks a bit, we have the standard forest goblins, who are numerous yet exceedingly pathetic and primitive. Their real strength comes from their domestication of giant spiders and wolves, who they often use in battle. Plus, there's like a literally unending hide of them, so... Now, arguably the strongest offshoot of the goblins, we have the night goblins. Their fanatical nature makes them more lethal in combat than their usual shit cunt goblin cousins. However, they don't do so well in sunlight, meaning as long as you lock your doors at night or don't visit too many caves, you should be mostly okay. Now, moving on to the bigger greener boys, we have the orcs. Starting at the bottom of the orc hierarchy, we have the orc boys, who make up the main fighting force of the orcs. They don't have any notable strengths or weaknesses like the night goblins do, they just kinda charge into battle and die a lot. Upgrading for the orc boys, we have the orc biguns, who are basically just bigger dick versions of the orc boys. On top of being large and more heavily armed, the biguns are also a bit less retarded, and they help keep discipline within a war. A war is like war, but said is if you've been kicked in the head as a baby, like wah. And finally, as the same with humans, the black orcs are the biggest and the strongest. Unlike the human variant, however, these black orcs are also the smartest, and as such, usually found in position of war boss, or at least high ranking within an orc. Wah. Wah. An interesting fact about orcs is that their size and strength literally depends on their societal status. Orcs who have a lot of testosterone from winning lots of battles and being feared grow to a large size, whereas goblins who are constantly bullied and beaten shrink and become more pathetic. This kinda has me wondering though, why hasn't there been an orc born that had a genetic mutation that overproduced testosterone and made him massive? That'd be pretty funny to see. There are other various remixes and offshoot greenskins such as savage orcs or hobgoblins, but these are the main categories and the main kind of hierarchy that they follow. The greenskins also employ the use of a lot of monsters such as trolls and giants, but that's a topic for a different video. And there you have it guys, that is the entire basic lore and summary of the greenskins explained. Now, for the competition to win the mousepad, all you gotta do is guess how long Grimgor's cock would be if he had one. Funniest answer wins the mousepad. You can either comment your answer here or in the comment section, message it to me on Discord, or message it to me on Patreon. The more platforms you send it to me on, the higher your chance of winning. Speaking of Discord, don't forget to join it for more memes and fuckery. Subscribe for more shit. Peace.